Hey, what's up, folks? Here I am back again. Happy holiday season to you. Happy Kwanzaa. This is your man, Adolphus AD Moore. And we're on the corner. And guess what? The day after Christmas, the Houston Texans delivered a gift to all of those diehard Texans fans, the one that swore off they'll never follow the Texans again. They start burning their J.J. Watt jerseys and effigy and everything. The Houston Texans today knocked off a leading contender, a conference contender, the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost said San Diego because I am in San Diego right now. And if you notice the surroundings, I'm in my son's broadcast studio. So, and with him being out here in Lakeside, California, which is with San Diego, because everybody in order to get here have to get to San Diego. So that's where I'm at. I'm enjoying the Christmas holidays with the son, the wife, and the grandkids, and hope everybody had a blessed Christmas yesterday and enjoying the holidays. And again, with this being the first day of Kwanzaa, hope everybody will respect and enjoy and acknowledge the principles that Kwanzaa set forth. But as I stated earlier, the Texans beat, yes, they destroyed the Los Angeles Chargers today. I know I'm gonna drop it and say San Diego, but that's okay. They've been in Los Angeles, for a while, but I still refer to them as the San Diego Chargers because I go back with them when they was competing against the Houston Oilers, the John Halers, the Lance Allworth, the Keaton Lance Bambi, Paul Lowe's, and the Ernie Lads and so forth when they were facing the Houston Oilers over there in Jefferson Stadium. Yeah, I'm that old. These gray whiskers on there belies the fact. But without further ado, I want to get to the man on the road, my good friend, as always, Elwyn on the road. This is almost like Charles Carraut, except we're going to call you Elwyn on the road. Elwyn, what's going on, man? Happy holidays, man.
Hey, thank you. Same to you, AD. Missed you today, of course, but I knew you were going to be with the family, and uh, that was a total shock today. I don't think anybody but the team themselves and the coaching staff thought this was possible today.
And everybody that came to the presser today to a person, they said, "Hey, we just block out the noise." And now, you know what? That's coach speak. We all know that. We all know most some of these guys on social media. They hear it. They've heard it. They've heard everything, been questioned about them, but called them everything but a child of God. And I'm not so sure some folks even question that. So yeah, they've heard it. But you know what? I'm gonna applaud them. Hey, when they play bad, do bad, you got to call it for what it's worth. But today, I was like you. I was shocked. I mean, they walked out there and they hit the Los Angeles Chargers in the mouth, like the old Mike Tyson saying, "Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth." And they got hit in the
Yep.
mouth, and their eyes started watering. Next thing you know, they looked up and the Texans was just pounding on them today. And Rex Burkhead had a career game for himself today. I mean, it's unreal. You know, all Rex did was took the ball, took one plant, and just turned upfield. It wasn't a whole lot of dilly dallying with Rex today, was it, Elwyn? And I think Elwyn and froze again. Go ahead, Elwyn.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was happy for Rex Burkhead because obviously, having spent all the years that he spent in New England, winning Super Bowls, and then having to endure what he has endured this year in Houston, it was it was good. It felt good for Rex for him to do what he did, and of course, as you know, AD, watching the game yourself out there in San Diego, this was head and shoulders better than any performance the Texans put out on the field in any of their other three wins this season.
Without a doubt, to stand on the Rex Burkhead thing, this was the first 100-yard rusher for the whole season. The
Yeah,
Texans, the Texans were at one while during the course of the game. I'll go back and check, but they were averaging over 6 yards a pop. And in
yeah,
fact, as a team, they had a breakout game, but and David Culley today, gave all the credit to his assistant coaches. But hey, this offensive line, these some guys that he said that they mentally, you have to wonder, okay, if these not the starters, and we realize everybody's dealing with injuries and everything right now. If these guys aren't the starters, and okay, it bodes well for guys who are able to walk in and blend as an offensive unit. But what does it say about the Chargers, who would say that they are a playoff caliber team? Are they really ready for a playoff caliber team? And one of the questions I want that would like to have asked, would like to have answered, did the Chargers walk in today with a little bit of overconfidence and thinking that the Texans was going to lay down for them today? Or at least from your perspective?
Honestly, I think that very probably is what happened. As coaches from high school to college to the NFL call it, it was a trap game, and the mousetrap got them.
more than the mousetrap got him. It was more than a mousetrap to grab him. Because let's face it, the interceptions, the interceptions that Justin Herbert threw today, these were sort of like the interceptions we were seeing being thrown by Texans quarterback just only a few weeks back. And the thing about it, this no-name group of offensive linemen kept a clean pocket for the most part, and
They did.
really, they kept the contact and the point of emphasis that I think that was unique that allowed Rex Burkhead to really pick up the yards that he was able to amass today. That the point of contact was not on the offensive side of the ball; it was on the defensive side of the ball. And they kept contact, and in fact they drove. They made the point of contact at the line of scrimmage and actually moved guys off the line of scrimmage today. So I take my hats off to them today, guys. I really do. This offensive line, this no name bunch of guys, and because you don't have Titus Howard wasn't in there. We hadn't seen some of the rest of the guys. Brett wasn't in there, and so whoever these guys are, whatever they were disguised as, some of them just got signed, I think, today. Not today, but during the course of the week. Right. And you get on an offensive line and you turn in this type of performance today, my hat is off to you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure you heard Coach Culley's press conference after the game. He was asked that question: how do these guys come in here, perform against a team that comes in 8-6, challenging to be a contender, as you said, in the AFC, and do what they did? And I was thinking the same thing the whole game, how these guys do it. I was very intrigued by the answer that Coach Culley gave, and he said they've been watching the film of what the starters have been doing wrong, so they saw what not to do when they got their chance.
So you sort of got to wonder. So is it coaching? Is it players? Or do we have the right players in the right spot? We probably got some of the players in the right spot or the wrong spot. If I had to just sort of give personal opinion, if I had to sort of extend my get a grade to the best offensive lineman that the Texans had to hit you for, I would have to give it to Titus Howard, because Titus done played all up and down that line of scrimmage. And with him being out on COVID, and we hadn't seen Laramie Tunsil in going on 8 weeks now. So Titus Howard to me has been the standard that you would want in the offensive line, because he's been a guard, he's been at both tackles, and now you had these guys, and I'm not saying he's probably has graded out from everything we've gotten after the game when the coaches have graded the film. He's been grading out real good. Even at the guard spot, and even having to go play left tackle after being inside and have to go on right tackle. He's still, when you go back and look at the objective analysis and the criteria, Titus Howard has been grading out quite well against the competition he's been going up against, according to that neutral grading that grades offensive linemen in the league. So hey,
yeah, and
go ahead, Elwyn.
The thing that I think about when you ask the question of, are we just now getting some of the right people in the right places? I always go back to that old saying that you and I have heard since we were kids in anything, not just football, not just sports, but in life. Winning breeds winning, but
Yep.
losing breeds losing. I don't care how tough you are mentally between the ears, even as a professional football player, you lose 3 or 4 games in a row, you're going to naturally start to doubt yourself. Oh my gosh, am I this bad? Oh no, here it goes again, week after week after week. And I think finally, last week when they beat Jacksonville, there was some of this, hey, you know what? Everything Coach Culley has told us is beginning to come together. It's obvious we did the right thing sticking together. And I think part of it, regardless of who would have been in there today, is the fact that this team is starting to gel a little bit. Granted, way too late in the season, but they're starting to gel a little bit. They're starting to believe in the philosophy. They're learning the plan that the coaches are presenting to them, learning the offense and defense better. And, you know, I just hope and pray Coach Culley gets another year, because I think they could end up finishing strong and potentially win these last 2 ball games, because they've
Yeah.
already beaten the Titans once.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And let's face it, the Titan. I mean, a desperate team would come in and do desperate things. And I think if anybody got a chance to see the Cardinals games last night, here's a team that's on the precipice, on the cusp of being a division winner, and they can't buy a victory right now.
No.
I mean, they can't. I mean, these are guys that are playing. Instead of playing to win, they playing scared to. They're scared to try to win instead of just going out there and relaxing. Everybody's just doing something just a little bit different. I mean, that whole menagerie, and let's face it. Well, yeah, he doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Guess what? There's a lot of teams running around here without their best receiver, but you got AJ Green. And so I seen several throws that Kyler Murray didn't make it to AJ Green last night. So it's
Right.
instead of just sort of passes without the confidence that they have shown early in the season. Just watching from last night, again, a team, case in point, to point out how well do you address adversities, and right now doesn't seem like the Phoenix Cardinals are wearing adversity quite too well. I mean, the Texans already been out of the playoffs. They were one of the first teams that got eliminated. And teams been getting eliminated. But you know what? The thing about it, these guys know, and we know there's a bunch of 1-year contracts, and quote unquote, how much chemistry can you try to build? How much cohesion can you try to build with 31 contracts, and some of those guys some of those 31 or 32 or whatever they signed have already been cut and on to other teams right now. So, is there a system in place? But realistically, what they're saying is, hey guys, if you got any pride in yourself at all, because this is your resume. The film is your resume. And if they and yes, some of those guys will be here next year. I would think we're gonna probably see. I won't say go. I'm not gonna stay. Don't even have to stay. I would say roughly 60% of this roster gonna get changed again. Elwyn, I just think I see it. I think 60%. Yeah, I think 60% of this roster gonna get turned over. I think we're gonna see some guys that we have gotten accustomed to won't be here next year. I don't see I don't see a Justin Reed being here next year. I think he'll be gone. And so let's let's face it, folks. Get ready to see another group of Texan players come in here. Hopefully that there's a unit, there's a cadre of players that have bought in enough that they can just work with. And as it stands right now, Davis Mills look like he might be just part of the puzzle to go in. Your comments.
Yeah, I agree with you. Davis looks to be definitely growing. I thought he did a great job of running the offense today, as you saw. He hit a couple of deep passes that were just perfectly thrown, that had to be perfectly thrown because of great defensive coverage. And I'll tell you a couple other guys that really stood out to me today. I was so happy for Jonathan Owens. on that interception down at the
Yeah,
1 yard line when the
yeah,
Chargers were about to go in. And then he recovers that fumble a little bit later in the game. And
yeah,
then also to come in with the pressure he came in with, I thought Eberle did a great job. You know, he missed the extra point right there at the beginning. He made a 51-yard field goal. He missed the 52-yard field goal. But to come in at the last minute like he did when Fairbairn tested positive for COVID and do what he did, I thought he did an exceptional job today.
yeah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, we can be quite candid. The Texans
Yeah.
were sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel, and that's not a denigration on the guys that they brought in. But
No.
nobody knew any of these guys, and and
No.
and and you know, going back to Jonathan Owens, he said, look, I've been cut. He said, I'm just determined. He said, I'm a D2 guy. You know, part of his
Yep.
presser. He said, I'm a D2 guy. He said, I wasn't going back home. He said, all I wanted was an opportunity, a chance, and you
Yep.
know, giving a guy a chance, and so today, you know, let's face it, you know, I'm a borrow a little Olympics. He had a gold medal performance today.
He did. He did. Hey, I got to ask, were you able to catch the post-game press conference Coach Culley had?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
I found it also amusing, and everybody I noticed chuckled, and I'm sure you had heard, because of the new change in COVID protocols and all of this Omicron that's going rampant through NFL teams right now, the Texans went back to a virtual post-game press conference today.
Right.
Nobody was allowed to go down in person, but Coach Culley made the comment when it was brought up about Owens about the pick six interception that Tavera had. He said, "Yeah, I wish he would have gone down and would have won the game." And I'm thinking, yeah, if I'm that guy and I get that interception, there's no way I'm going down. My tail's headed to the end zone.
No, and you know what? Tavares done what he was supposed to do. That was
Yes,
coach speak. But you know what? If I
sure.
got about 48 yards away, and I'm looking up at nothing but clean land and nothing but a
Yep.
TD. Oh, you can rest assured that I mean, Carl Lewis was gonna keep me from getting to the end zone.
I hear you, and you never know, but that could end up being the only touchdown he ever scores in the NFL. Because as you know, defensive touchdowns don't come around real often.
No, they don't. And here's the other thing. Part of the presser in Lovey's his whole tenure as being a D coordinator, he's off every year. He's had one interception that's been taken back to the house.
Right.
So the string continues.
Yes.
Lovey's strings continue. Even though I tweeted out today that when the Chargers went down there and scored right at toward the end, they tried to say, well, we're gonna keep everything in front of us. I'm going like, the only thing bend don't break up does is make you lose. So I'm going like, the heck with this, man. Just go back to start playing regular defense, because they went down the field too quick. But as I mentioned earlier, they got the victory today, and everybody's happy. They're gonna take the 24-hour rule. And but hey, Elwyn, here's something funny. Cullen was mentioning the fact that he wasn't at practice Thursday.
Right.
And he said, well, maybe I need to stay away from practice on more often.
Right.
I could almost, if I was a joke teller, I would go like, you mean you hadn't been staying away from practice? You've just finally figured this out? You should have been staying away from practice every week coming up to this. We might have had more victories,
Yeah. That's good, AD.
Well, heck, miss. How many you want to miss next time? I mean, hell, you want to take out one day every week? Good, go for it. If it will get the performance, if that gets us to the playoffs, if that gets us to a Super Bowl, David Culley, take off every week. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'll bet
yeah.
you this: with him saying that, it wouldn't surprise me to see him take off this Thursday. And then if they beat the 49ers next week out at Levi's Stadium, I would think that he probably will miss the final Thursday practice as well.
Man, it's interesting. Like you said, the growth and the maturity is just that looking at this overall team, and I hate to keep beating this dead horse about the fact, but these were a bunch of no-name guys we had out there today. I mean, I'm looking at the roster because, I mean, when and like I said, I get the releases every day. Players that I didn't even, and I was trying to remember when I saw Justin Reed out there. I'm trying to remember where did that notice, because last time I looked, he was on the protocol list, unless he just cleared today. Because I mean,
he just
we've been
cleared.
okay. He had to just clear, and I didn't go back and read the release from this morning. But they I mean, sometimes they got 2 and 3 releases coming out in a day on these teams now. Who's in clear protocol? Who hadn't cleared protocol? So I mean, hey man, hats off to them. I'm applauding and happy.
As you know, coming off of that COVID protocol, you've got to test negative 2 days in a row.
Right.
And so he tested negative yesterday, but I think that Coach Culley felt like probably, and I would say understandably so, that missing the practice he missed this week, even though he came off the COVID protocol by testing negative when he showed up, that it just was a situation of he didn't think he was ready to come in and play to the level he would need to play.
Well, okay. I you know what? I give him that.
That's
like I said.
Spin on it.
Hey, okay. Hey, and you know what? Your spin about as good as anybody else's. I mean, come on. Because like I say, we the way they practice, you get to see about the first 10, 15 minutes of it, then they kick you out of practice anyway. So
right.
and with the protocols being what they are now, and some teams basically gone on lockdown, and some folks, they basically have to come in there and listen by Zoom. So, I mean, let's face it. You look at what the Kansas City Chiefs were able to do to the Pittsburgh Steelers today, and they got Tyreek Hill off today, and then Travis Kelce didn't get off today. He didn't clear, but that didn't stop them. So, like this is going to be the way going forward, and it sort of makes you wonder now. Will Omicron will it be abated enough to once we get into the NFL playoffs? How the playoffs gonna shake out, and how the Super Bowl is gonna shake out now?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I know that the NFL is not going to want a Super Bowl, and not that they're going to postpone it. I mean, they've got to go forward now, but just imagine what that's going to feel like to the NFL if you were to end up with a Super Bowl game and both teams having 20 players suited up for the game you'd never heard of. It would almost be like the strike seasons of 81 and 87 when they had what they referred to as the scab players, and you had no clue who anybody on either team was when the teams played. And you mentioned Kansas City a minute ago. I don't know if you heard, but I was listening to that game until it ended right before time to get on here with you. I certainly hope it's not serious, but they said that Clyde Edwards-Helaire went out with a collarbone injury today in the third quarter.
Okay,
yeah.
so
I hope he didn't fracture it. That's not good.
No, and because he he had just come back off of an injury a few weeks back, Elwyn. So,
yes.
But hey man, at what I guess here's the question we can sort of bandy about, and as we get ready to wrap this puppy up, at what price does the NFL want that 17 game so bad? At what price are they willing to accept? Because if you remember correctly, sort of the structure of this 17 game series, that some players were going to be able to let's sit some players out for the 17 game, however they will want to do this.
Right.
But with the protocol now, I think the protocol is sort of threw all that up in the wind. I remember part of the deal. They said, well, some players, they were able to sit some players out. Well, you know what? They sitting players out all the year now with the protocol. So how, is it worth the price for this 17 game that the NFL got the players to sign off on? I'm just sort of curious.
Opinion, not this year. Not this year. I think so. I really don't think it is. And, the thing that is even, to me, more concerning I don't like the fact only one team, the number one seed in each conference at all, is all that gets a bye. I don't have a problem with, with all four teams not getting it, but with looking at 7 teams from each conference in the playoffs, you can only give a bye to one team, the top seed, and I'm not really comfortable with that.
Yeah, you sort of tail off there. You know what? I hadn't really given it much thought. I mean, it makes you sort of play hard for that number one seed, but then you take that week off, and that's all. You get the week off. That's the reason for having the number one seed, and everybody else got to play. So I mean, basically, what it boils down to, you got to win one. If you take it all away, you got to win 4 games to get to the Super Bowl now. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Hey, Elwyn, I think you're getting into that bad area again on the road. I'm gonna go ahead and cut you loose. I appreciate you, man. I have to cut you frozen right now. I'm gonna go ahead. I appreciate it. Hey, have a happy New Year, man. And if you can, and if you're frozen on me, I see you. But go ahead and hey, have a blessed New Year, and hopefully everything will work out for you. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm back now. I noticed I was bouncing in and out there for a little bit, but I think I've cleared the last hurdle. But certainly,
Okay.
AD, I wish you a very, very happy New Year as well. As always, enjoyed the opportunity of getting to visit with you at the home games this year, and really looking forward to seeing much improvement in 2022 in the Texans.
Same here, man. And like I say, being safe taking it on into the house to Gilmer there. Say hello to everybody there. And we'll be in touch, man. And be blessed, man. Take care of yourself. And again, Happy New Year to you, bro.
All right, brother, you too. And thanks for having me on again.
All right, you take care now. And
Will
as
do.
we get,
Bye-bye.
all right, take care, man. And as we get to the end of this, we get ready to bring in Mr. Gardner. So, Mr. Gardner, a lot of the teams that and I know you're a great proponent of college basketball. I know you love your Detroit Pistons, but COVID is sitting down a lot of teams. Will U of H going to sit there with that forfeit with them, or are they going to change the rules?
Right now, their game against Cincinnati on the 28th is canceled. Right now, it is considered a forfeit because of the current, let me say that one more time, the current rules and policies in the American Athletic Conference regarding the COVID policies, that if a team doesn't have enough healthy players, it is considered a forfeit for the standings, blah, blah, blah. So right now, I'm not sure if it's listed at the website, on the conference website, but Houston has a loss in conference for the standings, and Cincinnati has a win in conference because of the game being canceled. But the athletic directors for the AAC are supposed to meet this week to discuss modifying the policy. And I'm pretty sure they're going to modify the policy like most conferences did a few days ago, and some even last week, because of the Omicron, because U of H and most of the schools across the country, specifically teams, have already done the right things, got vaccinated. U of H players have been vaccinated. Staff has been vaccinated. Not all of them have received a booster yet, but that was in the works by the end of this month, oddly enough. So if everybody's been vaccinated, done the right things, and you're still getting, positive results, change the policy. The American Athletic Conference has been reactive. They've been reactive, not proactive. And the best team, your best team in your conference right now has a loss because of this policy. That other team like the Big East, SEC, ACC, it already changed days ago.
Do you think that the American is being a little bit slow or being a bit capricious because your number one, your creme de la creme team is leaving the conference? Or you think they've been a little bit persnickety about that?
I mean, I hope not on this, because we're talking about health. So, no. But I said on the 23rd, so a day after some of the major conferences announced their changes in policy, when is the American going to make their changes? And I said, what's going to happen if Memphis, Wichita State, Houston, and Cincinnati, so then the top four basically, come down with COVID? What y'all going to do? Come on. And lo and behold, it was announced on Christmas Day by national media that there were COVID issues within the U of H basketball team. Boy, and now Sunday, the 26th, press release comes out from the conference and U of H. U of H release is just parity to the conference release, that the ADs are going to meet to discuss modifying the COVID policy.
Oh,
shocking.
Oh, so that came out along. Oh, okay. So the policy getting ready to get changed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know why it took them so long. I mean, they basically have done a good job in restocking their conference when the schools leave. So I mean, did it take that long for the word to get to Dallas? Because isn't that where the American Conference
Right.
conference office is located?
Right. Conference office is now in Dallas as of, I think, last year.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, last summer.
Yeah.
But also, I look for the NCAA basketball committees to announce a change to the minimum number of games required for teams to be eligible for the tournament. Right now, it's 25. There probably will be teams that won't make 25 this season. So that's going to change sometime in the next few weeks. Come January. Sometime in January, that's going to be changed as well.
So let me ask a question then, Chris. Taking all that, how does that do? When the ranking and then when they start, if you got less games, doesn't that affect your power ranking and all this other stuff that they go in, quote unquote, what they go in to start ranking these teams and Power 5 team and all this other stuff that they go into?
Well, the different number of games, that's why they want to have agree on a minimum requirement. They'll do that. But in terms of right now, as far as the NCAA is concerned, the committee is concerned, Tuesday's game is a no contest, so it didn't exist. As far as the NCAA is concerned, so it's not going to hurt U of H in terms of seeding, things like that. But in terms of the conference, because every conference has their own rules, the NCAA does not have a blanket mandate. So each conference has their own rules regarding COVID policies, forfeiture, no contest, etc. So as of right now, December 26th, U of H has a loss due to forfeiture because they don't have enough players to compete in the game scheduled for December 28th.
So that loss is written in with a pencil, and somebody's going to come along with a big number 2, big pearl eraser, big pink pearl eraser, and going to erase that. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Like I said, the Big East men's basketball, 4 games were considered forfeits until Wednesday. Now there's no contest. Let's reschedule those games.
Okay. All right. Hey, Chris, you know what? This year's been a blast, man. We need to say this. Hope you have a blessed 2022. We hope, we got something going here, man. And just want to make it bigger and better. And just, with utilizing our guile and our intellect and our connections to expand and expand the corner, expand round ball review, and the recognition that we are getting, and we are getting the recognition for it. They may not be kicking the door down in some places, but we know we're getting the recognition for it, and folks are hearing about it, and they know about us, and we're not waiting. We know what as they used to say, it's easier to ask for permission and ask for forgiveness. I'm not asking for either. I'm just gonna go ahead and do our thing.
Yes, sir. And technology exists for us because once again, with Elwyn joining the show on the road in his car.
Yeah.
So this can be done, folks, and we are going to maximize our chances. So look for bigger and better in 2022.
Yes, we are. Again, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. And as I get ready to put the wrap on this one for 2021, folks, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate the comments, the pluses, the minuses. You know what? The fact that you gave a little time to listen You know, if you thought I stunk, I appreciate that. If you applauded my efforts and everything, I appreciate that. The fact that you listened and gave me 2 or 3 minutes out of your day, your busy day, I'm appreciative. So, as it always, this is Adolphus AD Moore, wishing you all a blessed and a meritorious 2022 as we get ready to ring out 2021. Again, the Texans today shocked Los Angeles Chargers 41-29, and we'll got two more victories. Oh, by the way, Chris, I did meet my 4 games. I got my 4 to 6 game.
Yes, you
I got
did.
it.
You got it.
And I'm gonna tell the truth. I did not count this game as one of those games.
And you shouldn't have coming into it, but you
no.
didn't.
If somebody had told you that, I would have told you go ahead and put me in a straight jacket and take me on away. But again, hey folks, this is your man, Adolphus AD Moore, wishing you all nothing but the best in 2022. We are out of here. Peace, love, joy, and happiness. Deuces, Paka, ciao.